This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
It is always such a great honor and pleasure to have the opportunity to speak to the community of South Africa. I have such dear friends in your community, and I thank Yedidi, Rav Tabak Shlita, for once again thinking of me and including me in this really momentous occasion. Now, sometimes you speak at an occasion and you're just an outsider, but I feel very connected not only to this community but to Dirshu Mishna Berura. I've had the great zechus to be learning the Mishna Berura from the beginning of this cycle and giving the shir from the beginning of Siman Pei Zayin. And just to share one or two thoughts, l'kavod this really momentous occasion. If you want to know what a book is all about, so there's a general rule. You look at the beginning, you look at the end, and that gives you a pretty good idea what the book is all about. And the Chida has a phenomenal observation in this context regarding Orach Chaim, Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim. The opening comments of the Ramah to Orach Chaim are Shivisi Hashem lenegdi tamid. I place Hashem before me always, tamid. I always place God before me. And the Ramah's concluding remarks on Shulchan Aruch is V'leiv toiv mishte tamid. The Ramah is speaking about whether one makes a Suda on Purim Katan, and the Ramah says whether you do or not, V'leiv toiv mishte tamid. Someone who has a good heart, someone who has good character, he's always at a Mishta, he's always at a Suda. Says the Chida that these two bookends of the Shulchan Aruch, Shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid and V'leiv toiv mishte tamid, are the two Tamidim of Klal Yisrael, like the Tamid Shel Shachar and the Tamid Shel Bein Ha'arbayim. The Tamid Shel Shachar is to place God before you always. The Tamid Shel Bein Ha'arbayim is V'leiv toiv, someone of good character, is always at a Mishta, is always at a party. Says the Chida, if one merits to fulfill Shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid, one who always places God before them, will be Zoicha, will merit to always be happy, to always have Mishta Tamid, to always be with a happy, upbeat, positive perspective on life. The key to happiness, says the Chida, the key to the Leiv Toiv Mishte Tamid is Shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid. Perhaps we could add one or two dimensions to this great observation of the Chida. As we mentioned, if you want to know what a book is all about, you have to look at the beginning, you have to look at the end. If the beginning speaks about a certain subject, the end speaks about a certain subject, you pretty much know what this book is all about. When it comes to the study of Halacha, sometimes a person may say, well, it's important to know Halacha, but it's maybe technical or it's dry, and maybe I prefer to learn machshava or musar or mystical aspects of the Torah, but the halacha is just what you could do, what you can't do. And I think it's very telling how the Shulchan Aruch begins and how the Shulchan Aruch ends. Shulchan Aruch begins, you want to know what this book is all about. It's not just about what you can do and what you can't do. You want to know the essence of Shulchan Aruch, of Orach Chaim, Shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid. What this book is all about is forging a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, placing God before you always. Yeah, you can learn machshava, you can learn mysticism, you can learn the depths, the amkos of the Torah, but the bottom line is, if you want to have a constant and consistent relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from the moment you get up, to when you tie your shoes, to how you get dressed in the morning, to how you go to shul, to how you learn, to how you observe a Shabbos and a Yom Tov and a Purim, the best way to be cognizant of the presence of Hashem at all times, if you want to fulfill Shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid, then learn Shulchan Aruch, then learn Mishna Berura. This is not just about what you can and can't do. It's about creating an awareness of Hashem. There's no better way to connect, to forge a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu than the regular study of Halacha. In fact, Arizal points out, I once heard this from Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, Halacha is oisiyos hakala, the bride. You want to have a relationship with Hashem. You want to be davuk to Hashem. You want to be close to Hashem. The only way to do it is to study Halacha. Halacha is oisiyos hakala, the bride. If you want to consummate your relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, hakala, halacha, the regular learning of halacha. But then the Shulchan Aruch ends with another telling comment. V'leiv toiv mishdat tamid. Person might say, halacha, am I really going to get simchas haTorah from learning halacha, from observing halacha? And the answer the Shulchan Aruch gives is a resounding comment in the concluding words, V'leiv toiv mishdat tamid. That if you learn halacha and you observe the minutia and the detailed guidelines of halacha, not only will this inspire you to a deeper awareness and cognizance of the presence of Hashem, but it will also bring you to the madrega of v'leiv toiv mishtet tamid, because if you're always aware of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how I can eat a watermelon on Shabbos, how I can't, how I can pick out a tie from my closet on Shabbos, how I can't, constantly being aware of the guidelines that I need to observe will grant us a deeper level of awareness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and ultimately imbue meaning into every moment of life and every moment of the year, and will bring us to the madrega of a leiv toiv mishtet tamid. So while one superficially may have thought the study of halacha is dry and perhaps is not what will bring us closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and more happiness and meaning in life, it's just the opposite. The learning of halacha is the fundamental way, to gain cognizance of Hashem's presence, of shivisi Hashem lenegdi tamid, and to inspire us to live a more meaningful and happy life. So my humble blessing to all those who have participated in the Dirshu Siyum Daf Yomi is, may you go mechayel el chayel. May you continue to pursue this avenue of Kirvat HaKadosh Baruch Hu, go for another cycle, and if you haven't yet joined, this is the perfect opportunity to join. There's a new Dirshu app, so this will allow you to connect to the learning of halacha in whatever avenue you find yourself in. Mazel tov to all the Masaimim, Mazel tov to those who are going to be joining the Dirshu program, and may we all be zoicha to the blessing vouchsafed by Chazal of Kol Haloimed Halachos, Kol Hashoine Halachos B'chol Yom, Muftach Loi Shehu Ben Olam Haba. May the Rebbeinu Shalom grant us this greatest of all gifts, Harachamon Hu Yizakenu Limois HaMashiach U'Lachaye HaOlam Haba. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.